the Aquaponics garden here. This is SSLFamilyDad, and quite an exciting week, or a couple weeks here actually, with the indoor system here. What you're looking at is that bush bean that's been growing in here for about a month, I think, maybe a little bit longer. But we got some real nice beans on it now, and the system has been doing pretty well. So they're loaded in there. There's probably about 15-20 beans on this little plant here, and they just keep flowering and keeps growing. So they taste awesome. We've tried a couple of them and just ate them right off the plant, and they've been really good. So they're real sweet, and so real happy with that. I might end up planting a lot more of those. So, all right, obvious struggles with pH are still going on, but I'm gonna be looking at new rock here. I'm looking at a few landscape supply places to check on getting some new rock to start switching these out, and I'm gonna fill up this bed with the new rock as soon as I get it, and then I'm gonna move plants from this one to that one, and then clean this one out, and I'm just gonna do it in stages here. But one of the things I'm doing is kind of experimenting right now with what grows the best and what doesn't in the higher pH, and so hopefully I can help other people out too that are starting new systems, because your pH is going to be higher no matter what, even if you have good grow media, usually to start off with, unless you're using some pH down stuff. But and so next episode, I'm actually going to do a list of all the plants that I've tried and what's worked the best in the higher pH. So just kind of an update on what I have in here right now. So these green peppers, they've actually flowered, and there's a bunch of bell peppers growing on here. I don't know if you can see, but there's a whole bunch of little ones. There's a couple bigger ones. I'll try to get underneath here a little bit, and so you can see them. But the green peppers have been doing really good. I mean, the leaves are real healthy and green, and the plant's been doing really good. It's growing a little slower than I think I would like. I know pepper plants do grow a little slower anyway, but it's real healthy, it's real sturdy, and so those are growing really well. I would definitely do more of those. I've got a couple pepper plants in here, a couple little ones growing in here too. I've got some banana peppers that are right down here. Those are doing really well. The tomato plants, they don't do that great, but I do have a bunch of tomatoes. So I was pretty excited when these finally started to flower, and I've been pollinating them with a little brush here that I've been using. But I know tomato plants, usually you don't really have to do that. They're kind of self-pollinating, usually just kind of tap the leaves. But since there hasn't been that many flowers blossoming, because the plants really aren't doing that well in the higher pH, I mean, as you can see, all the leaves are like brown and stuff. I just keep trimming them down because they keep shooting up and growing new growth at the top. I keep cutting it down, so I want to keep these plants a little bit lower, but that's pretty cool. So pretty cool little tomatoes in there. See, it'll focus in. So yeah, they're doing good. Actually, you know, if these plants will produce some tomatoes over the next couple months, I'll leave them in here, and they'll keep kind of growing. Once I get the pH under control, I'm sure they'll shoot out and do real well. But I'm also experimenting with I've got chives in here, dill, I've got spinach, which is not doing very well, as you can see, so the higher pH, not doing well with that. I've got basil in here, cilantro. The cilantro and all of these are celery plants. They're doing really well. This is Swiss chard here, which seems to be doing pretty well. Again, tomatoes. And then check out the pea plant in the back. There's some little peppers down there. But check out the pea plant. It grew up, and let the light come back here, all the way up into the window, and it's heading outside just about. So I should open the window and let it grow out the wall outside. But so that's doing good, so the peas seem to grow really well. I mean, that thing is healthy. The leaves are all really green on it. Haven't seen any flowers come out yet, so we'll just let that go and see what happens with it. I'll keep you updated. The lettuce is still doing so-so. You know, we come down and chop some off here every once in a while. I've got the romaine lettuce in the back, and I've got the iceberg in the front. And there's also there's a couple heads of this butterball lettuce here as well. So, but this stuff's doing pretty well. The lettuce tastes a little bit on the bitter side. It's not quite as sweet as the stuff you get at the store, but you know what? We had some organic stuff that we bought, organic romaine lettuce, and it tasted kind of bitter too. So I'm thinking that the stuff that's grown naturally might not taste the same as the stuff that's been grown with a bunch of chemicals. So we're happy with the lettuce. I mean, it's a little bit brown still on the edges and that, with the pH being high, but we just trim the brown stuff off, and you know, some of the bad leaves and that I'll trim out of here every once in a while. But this stuff's just overgrown. I've had to pull a bunch of plants out, and it just keeps growing. The romaine in the back's really tall, and so these are doing really well. The oregano that I have in here, it's doing okay. It's definitely not, you know, I've grown oregano or seen oregano grow outside before, and it will grow a lot taller than this, so it's still growing really slow. But what I've done is, I don't know if you can see with the lights here, but I've got some hooks, and I've been actually pulling some out and drying it on these little posts here. And so I just threw some hooks up at the top. And so I'll just kind of pull some out a little bit at a time, and we'll dry that and see how it tastes. But the big update that I've done here with the system, so I've stepped back a little bit so you can kind of see the whole thing. So just still have the 3 lights running, but I've put these dividers in. I've got 1, 2, 3 of those dividers. And what I'm doing with this, instead of, my problem is that once the plants are growing up in here, I don't really have a way to support them, especially the tomato plants, because they need a lot of support. So I kind of developed this little system here. I've just got a bunch of holes drilled, and I've got a bunch of these little 1/4-inch dowels, and this is we're going to work really well. I'm going to use this outside, I think, too. But basically, as the plants grow up, you just kind of take these dowels and stick them in the holes. You can get these dowels like 5 feet long for $1, and I just kind of broke a bunch of various lengths off in here. But so as the plants get tall enough, about this tall is when they start to need to be supported, you just pop a wood peg in there, and that'll hold them up. And then I've got it, let's see, another level here. Once plants get that tall, I've got over here as well, then I can just keep kind of supporting them as they grow up. So that's actually an idea I'm going to use outside in our square foot garden as well, and support them that way instead of using tomato cages and stuff like that, which I think are kind of ugly. But we'll see how it works, and I just think it worked out to be a pretty good idea. So, but that's pretty much it with the aquaponics system. Everything else has been doing great. The fish have been doing really good, and the system's still been cycling. You know, normally I haven't had to adjust any bell siphons. I haven't had to worry, you know, the sump tank and the pumps, and everything's been doing really well. I am going to have to clean the pump here pretty soon because the flow is starting to decrease, I've noticed. So it's still plenty to feed the beds, but it's starting to get a little lower. So I'm going to go ahead and take the pump apart and clean it up here shortly. So, and of course we still have the chickens over here, which are just about ready to go outside. I've got the chicken coop almost done, and we'll be kind of updating you guys on that too if you're interested in that kind of stuff. But anything we can do to produce some of our own food. So, but that's pretty much it for the aquaponics system this week. I will do another update, of course, in 2 weeks, and I'm going to actually do a focus on what plants grow best, and then I'm also going to start doing some more updates on pH and how pH works and how pH affects the plants, and what the plants are actually doing and absorbing nutrients, and why they need a higher or a lower pH, and more of the chemistry and specifics behind that. I've been doing a lot of research, obviously, since I've been having struggles with this system, so hopefully I can share some of that information with you guys as well. But thank you for watching. If you guys have questions or comments, as always, throw them in the comment section. I've had some questions about how the system was built and some of the specifications and that. I am going to do more of a teardown video where I'm actually going to go through how the actual framing of the system was put together, and some of the measurements and things like that. So that'll be on an upcoming episode as well. So stay tuned. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Do appreciate your support, and as always, like I said, ask questions if you have them and give feedback as needed. I always appreciate it. So thank you for watching again, and have a good one.